Hey there, my name is Arsema. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be giving my full-on impression of Kylie Jenner's Cosmic Perfume, which is her latest launch and her very first fragrance. So if you're interested, stay tuned and we'll get right into it. So on March 7th, Kylie Jenner launched her very first fragrance, Cosmic. I was really interested in getting my hands on this fragrance, so the day that it dropped, I went ahead and purchased it. Of course, the shipping was a little long and I didn't realize at the time that Ulta was going to carry it, and I could have just, drove by the store and picked it up there. Anyways, so there's that. Once I got my hands on the fragrance, I tried it out, and I was overall pretty pleased with what I initially smelled. So in the past, I've tried quite a few different celebrity perfumes, and they don't always live up to the hype, or they overall don't give what you really want a fragrance to give, and they tend to play it safe. And so I will say I'm pretty pleased to say that Kylie Jenner did surprise me with the fragrance that she launched. It definitely doesn't give like the traditional celebrity perfume vibe that I normally find in these celebrity perfumes, and it really kind of leans more towards designer styled fragrances in my opinion versus celebrity styled fragrances. So unlike celebrity fragrances that really kind of stay safe, I think this Kylie Jenner fragrance really didn't go super safe. It's still in my opinion an approachable fragrance and not something that's really off-putting by any means, but definitely more interesting than I was expecting it to be, especially considering that it's a celebrity fragrance. So I spent about a week with the fragrance. I really wanted to give my full-on impression of the fragrance, not just first impressions, which I did do a full-on unboxing and my first impressions on this fragrance on my TikTok and Instagram. So if you're interested in that, feel free to go ahead and check that out. But I wanted to do my due diligence, especially since Kylie Jenner has such a huge following. I knew there would be a ton of people who would be interested in this fragrance, and I wanted to be of service and, give my efforts considering that I'm a perfume lover. And so I spent a week with the fragrance. I wore it by itself. I did some combos or layered it and went upon my life and daily routine and went to work and ran errands and just kind of wore it and tried to see how I really felt about it. So I will say, upon my first impressions, what I initially smelt, or what this initially reminded me of, was Viktor & Rolf's Flower Bomb, which is a super floral fragrance. Now I have that in my collection, and I went back and smelt it, and I really tried to compare the two, but I think I was actually incorrect in me thinking that it smelled exactly like Flower Bomb, the original version. But in actuality, I think what it really smells like and is most similar to this fragrance in my collection, which is Viktor & Rolf's flanker of Flower Bomb, but it's the Good Fortune one. So I have this in my collection. I was thinking original Flower Bomb, but it really gives me Viktor & Rolf's flanker, this Good Fortune fragrance, which is actually a pretty awesome fragrance. Yeah, they're so similar. So where do they differ? I think the Kylie Jenner fragrance is a lighter, maybe sweeter version of the Viktor & Rolf's Good Fortune Flower Bomb. Whereas the Viktor & Rolf's Good Fortune is a little bit more bold, has a little bit more depth. It lasts a little bit longer on the skin and definitely has more of a sillage or a fragrance trail when I wear this, when compared to the Cosmic Kylie Jenner version. So although it's not a super basic celebrity-like fragrance, it is giving designer, and it definitely is very reminiscent of this fragrance. I don't necessarily think that it's a good or bad thing, but I think just for general knowledge, it's not the most original DNA. And I mean, at this point, most fragrances really aren't the most original, but this one to me smells super similar. But to Kylie Jenner's defense, what they're really claiming Cosmic is a skin scent. So something that sits a little bit closer to the skin, something that typically in skin scent fashion isn't the strongest, isn't the boldest, and you probably wouldn't expect to have a really intense sillage or fragrance trail. That being said, after wearing the Kylie Jenner fragrance, I can't really say that it's a skin scent to me. To me, skin scents really are the kind of fragrance where people kind of have to hug you or be in super close proximity in order to smell the fragrance. Now, for the Kylie Jenner one, I didn't find it to be a super skin scent. I found it to have a pretty decent sillage, and I found people still smelled the fragrance on me, whether they were super close or maybe a little bit away. Whereas the Viktor and Rolf, people will smell you. Like, you don't have to be super close to them for them to smell you, and it will last a little longer and be more bold for longer. Whereas Kylie Jenner's kind of fades a little quicker. I still got a few hours of good wear. I'd say about 5 hours when I sprayed on my skin and my clothes, whereas Viktor and Rolf, I probably would get 10, 11 hours. And overall, I do kind of spray on the heavier side, so take that for what you will. So on the Kylie Cosmetics website, here are the notes that they're claiming. So it opens with jasmine and blood orange, and for the heart of the fragrance, or the middle note, is golden amber accord and red peony accord, and for the base, it's vanilla musk accord and cedar wood. So what I really get is really warm florals, a touch of musk, and a touch of sweetness. The sweetness to me isn't coming off necessarily as vanilla, but more of a generic sweet. So in comparison, Viktor and Rolf, they claim this fragrance to be a amber floral with keynotes of fennel, gentian codistillate, which I'm not familiar with, jasmine super infusion, and bourbon vanilla infusion. And so with the Viktor and Rolf fragrance, I think I get a little bit more vanilla. I get a more intense and almost slightly woody version of a amber floral, and I get more of the vanilla bourbon, which provides a depth, just a layer of depth that I'm not necessarily getting in the Kylie Jenner fragrance. Now, is that a bad thing? No, definitely not a bad thing. Would I wear this fragrance? Yes. Would I wear both of these fragrances? Yes. Would I use them in different settings? Yes. I think Kylie Jenner's Cosmic Perfume is a little bit more of a safer buy. It's less intense, especially for those people who really want to smell good, but they don't want to be like, bam, in your face kind of smell good, which I think the Viktor and Rolf gives. So in terms of layering combinations, which the Kylie Jenner fragrance by itself is pretty great. So you don't feel like you need to layer it, but I played around with layering it with Kylie's Vanilla 28. This kind of gave the vanilla depth that I was missing from the fragrance that I found in the Viktor and Rolf's version. But it had a little extra sweetness, more of a brown sugar vanilla energy to it with that ambery floral. In addition, I've tried playing around with Kylie's Pistachio Yum Gelato, which is a really light, airy, super sweet fragrance, and which I think played nicely with Kylie Jenner's lighter amber floral and added to the sweetness. So it kind of was a light, sweet, floral, bubbly fragrance day for me when I played around with these two. Now I haven't tried this version. I haven't layered it yet with musks, but I think this would be so freaking amazing with the white musk. Or if you wanted to say wear it with a fragrance oil like this Nimat Vanilla Musk. It smells amazing. Super affordable also, so there's that. And this fragrance oil really lasts long. It will last on you all day. So if you put this on, then spray this, you probably would get even more hours of wear with this combination. And this will really amplify the musk and add that sweetness of vanilla. Now, if you don't necessarily need more of the vanilla, it would also be super amazing with the Nimat. They have a white musk version. You can also wear it with that white musk fragrance oil and add this. So in conclusion, I find that the Kylie Jenner fragrance is actually worth the money, especially if you don't have Flower Bomb in your collection. And if you at all were interested in Flower Bomb or the Good Fortune version of Flower Bomb, but maybe you're looking for something a little bit less intense, I would definitely recommend the Kylie Jenner fragrance. And so in terms of also price point, the Kylie Jenner Cosmic fragrance for that 50 ml bottle, which is what I had, it was only $60. And to me, that's a pretty good deal, especially for a fragrance that leans more towards designer than celebrity. If it was celebrity styled and not so, and it didn't have as much depth or interest, then maybe I'd say it's an okay price. But considering the fact it really kind of gives designer, I think it's a pretty darn good price. And Kylie Jenner has about 4 different sizes, and at various price points, and I think for the most part is more accessible to more people than some of the designer fragrances that might not have as many size options, or those size options still kind of come with a large price tag. And so for cost comparison, this 50 ml bottle is $60, while this one, although this is the smaller size, if you were to get the equivalent 50 ml size, it'd be $145 at full price. So I think because of the price difference, maybe I'd lean towards the Kylie Jenner one, especially if you're the kind of person who likes to buy multiple fragrances or likes to have a pretty sizable collection. There's not necessarily a high need for you to go with this over this, especially if you want variety and you want to do so at a lower price point. So overall, I think both of these fragrances are great. I think Kylie Jenner's Cosmic fragrance really surprised me in a good way, and I think it's definitely worth the buy, especially if you don't have any of the Viktor and Rolf flower bombs, any of the flankers. If you do, then maybe not. Or if you're looking for a lighter version of those fragrances, then go with the Kylie Cosmic. So definitely I think Cosmic is worth the try. It's worth a blind-ish buy if you must, but if you have an Ulta near you, I'd probably recommend you go in person and smell the fragrance before you do fork up the $60 or whatever size bottle for whatever size price, just to ensure that you do like it. So overall, that's my review of the fragrance. Hopefully you enjoyed. And let me know in the comments if you've tried the fragrance, if you like it, what your thoughts are. Have you tried any of the Viktor and Rolf's Flower Bomb fragrances? And if so, do you think they are alike? If you've enjoyed this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I'd love to see you again. Thank you so much, and goodbye.